PT Pop here, all four lobes of my brain securely bound behind my back. And today I'm going to talk about human resources within a call center. Stay tuned. So, you get hired in a call center, and one of the first people to interview you and to greet you will be the human resources representative. And from my past experiences in every single call center, almost every single human resources employee is a female. There's very, very few men that work in HR or human resources. And in this video, I want to talk to you about what to watch out for while dealing with human resources and what kind of people work in human resources in a call center environment and in the corporate world in general. As I said, most of the people I've dealt with were women. Most of the women I've dealt with are morbidly obese. Morbidly obese. And I'm not certain why that is. I don't know if it's just from sitting on their backsides all day long processing paperwork. But most of the women are morbidly obese, Nazi-type women. They will be introduced to you. You come in for the interview. You'll meet first with human resources, and the woman will come out and say, "Hi, I'm Sally Schmeling. I'm with Human Resources. So glad you could come in today for your interview with Kamana Wan and Elena Morton. Let's go back and let's go over some minor details before you get to meet with your one interview." And they'll go in and they'll meet with you and they'll say hi and so on and so forth. And then they'll introduce you to the person. Usually only interview with one or two people, and they hire you on a spot in most call centers. And then when you get called in, if you get hired and you get called in, the human resources lady will come in on the first day of training. You know, the trainer will come in, Bill Fliedermeister here, everybody, and now I'm going to introduce you to Fraulein Helga from Human Resources. Fraulein, please come in and talk with each of us about human resources and their health benefits package and their 401k. And there'll always be this woman. She'll either come in by herself. They usually come in with a sidekick, HR sidekick that's in training. They're always in training. And these ladies will come in and they'll talk to you about your health care benefits and your 401k and find out all of your tax forms and all that stuff. But in the process of all the paperwork they have you fill out, they get very serious and they say, "Now, I want each and every one of you to know you are to be here on time. Hail to Kamana Wan Lane Morton. And you're to be here on your shift on time, logged into your phones. Because I can tell you, most people here get promoted from these positions. They don't get fired unless it's for a violation of their scheduling. I tell you this because I have sent so many managers come to me and say, he's late again. We must fire him. Hail to Kamana Wan and Morton. Hail to the corporation." And, they give you this big stern speech about how you've got to be there on time. You're hired to be there on time and logged into your phones. And the majority of the people that get let go are for scheduling problems, meaning they don't show up on time or they don't show up to their shifts at all. So you get a big lecture from HR on top of getting a lecture from their sidekick, a lecture from the trainer, and a lecture from your manager about be there on time, be there on time, be there on time. It's pounded into your head. But what you'll find about these predominantly women in human resources is they are very much like Nazis. Sieg Heil to the corporation, to the Kamana Wan and Morton way of life. They're not friendly people. They are usually very stern, stoic people who are there to enforce the laws of the corporation. And when I make fun of them as being, quote, Nazis, human resources are basically the guard dogs for the corporation. They are not there to help you as an employee. They are not there to protect you. They are not there to save you from the evil manager who is threatening you or harassing you or making your life miserable. They are not there for you. They are strictly and only there as guard dogs. Think of them as a junkyard dog, like an old dirty German Shepherd that's in a junkyard down the street that always attacks the gate anytime you go up and you want to go look at the, you don't look through the fence at the broken down cars stacked on top of each other. They are the dirty, flea-bitten German Shepherd, and they are there to protect the CEO and the president, the CFOs and the CIOs way at the top. They are the guard dogs that stand at the gate. They are the gatekeepers. And what I wanted to do with this video is to warn you, because when I was younger, I assumed that human resources was there to protect me, the employee. Now, they present themselves as being that way. They put on the political face of, hey, we're here to help you. You have any problems with anything, just come on in. We have an open door policy. You go to the corporations. Have an open door policy, come in anytime. My door's wide open and I'll be eating a bag of Doritos and a donut at the same time with a big gulp. Oh, just to add to my fat. Many of these women are morbidly obese. I'm not certain why. Many of them, several of them that I've seen, have those rolling scooters that they put, like this one lady I worked with at one company, she had both her knees operated on because she was so fat, her knees were shot. And so she had a rolling scooter, and she put her leg on one scooter and she pushed herself. I'll put a picture of it here. They're usually in bad shape. These ladies are usually in bad shape. But anyway, so when I was younger, I used to think that these HR people were there to protect you. They were there to protect you and keep you happy, keep you safe, have a nice, happy, safe, healthy work environment. And it's quite the opposite. As I said, they're there to protect the company. My advice to you, number one, if you're young, if you're naive, and you think human resources is there to protect you in any corporate environment, not just a call center, they are not there for you. If for some reason you have to go to human resources to report something or someone, a violation or an event that took place either with you or something you observed, document everything and anything you think is important. Document, document, document. If you have a camera, take a picture of it. If you have a video recorder on your phone, videotape it. Audio record any conversations. Save any emails. Save any memos. Anything that will build your case up to support your concern and your conflict and your report, the report you can make with HR. It is vital, completely and utterly vital, that you document everything and anything that you think is and was an infraction that you either witnessed or you took part in. The reason I say that is because if you walk into HR without any documentation or proof of what you're saying, they will sit there and look at you from across the desk very quietly and watch you squirm, because they know you have nothing. They know your words are mere words. They float in the air and they dissipate while you squirm, and all the poor people get fired for unjust reasons. They know. If you present them with documentation, you will watch the sweat begin to grow and bead on their brow, because every piece of, and keep copies of every documentation, everything you document. Keep a copy at your desk. Take a copy at home with you. Make sure you don't take anything confidential out of the office, but anything you document, keep a duplicate of it somewhere, because if you give them your only copy of the recording or the photograph or the copy of the memo, it will just happen to disappear. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Tompkins, all the documented proof, it has vanished. It has vaporized before your very eyes. And they'll have no proof, because they're there to enforce the laws of the country and the state that they work in to protect the company from lawsuits. And every major corporation that you work for, at the very top of the hierarchy, the CEO, the president, the CIO, the CFO, all the bigwigs are surrounded, and they are within a phalanx of layers and layers of attorneys and actuaries and people that prepare for situations like this, and they weigh the ramifications of a lawsuit, how much a lawsuit will cost them, how long it'll take to get through it in court, and they'll try to drag it out and make your life miserable. And so your attorney, if it ever gets up to litigation, they'll drag it out and drag it out and drag it out because they want to make sure you're depleted of all your funds. You don't have to give up because your attorney's, sucking you dry of all of your money. So HR is the guard dog before it gets to the attorney. If you walk in and they see you have documentation of this incident, they know they have to do something. And it'll be very swift, it'll be very quick, especially if it's a legitimate, valid claim and you have documentation, because they know if you have documentation, if they don't take care of it, you have valid and legitimate reasons to go hire an attorney and sue their asses, and they'll probably have to settle with you out of court and pay you a sum of money. And they don't want to do that. And especially if it gets to the press, outside the corporations. These days, I don't know if it even matters because the press is bought and owned by the corporations and the fascist government that's now run by the military or something. I don't know what runs our government. I think the CIA runs it. But I don't know if it'll do any good. But ideally, the ideal situation is they'll settle with you out of court. And if you threaten to go to the media because you know you got something, you're walking a fine line. They're not supposed to blackball you, and they're not supposed to make your life rough at work, but they have ways of doing it that's subversive and not overt. It's very under the radar. You have to have everything documented, but once you get documented and you present to HR, you're going to get very paranoid. And there's good reason to be, because in most cases, even though they say there's no whistleblowing laws, they don't violate whistleblowing laws. There's no supposed to be repercussions for reporting a bad incident or a legal incident at work. There are, and they have subversive ways of doing it. They make your life miserable. They make sure they find ways to write you up, and they base it all on performance, and they're waiting for you to slip up so they can get rid of you because you'll be labeled as a troublemaker. So human resources are the guard dogs of the corporation. They are not there for you. They are there to protect the corporation and enforce the corporation's rules and policies, as well as the state, local, and federal policies that are there supposedly to protect the employee, but really they're in place not so much to protect you, the individual employee, but to protect the corporation. My message to you today with human resources is to avoid them at all costs. Do not approach anybody from human resources with a legitimate concern unless you have it entirely documented. Have it all written down, have pictures taken, have photographs, videos, audio recordings. If you're being harassed at work, if you're being bullied, if you're being treated improperly, if you're being disciplined with no documentation, you have to document the discipline. You have to make sure your ass is covered before you set foot in human resources. If you set foot in human resources without the appropriate documentation, they will not work with you. They will make your life more miserable than it already is, and they will find a way to get rid of you quick. Okay, they're still going to try to do it even though you've got it documented. But if you've got it documented, they're probably going to try to leave you alone as best they can because they know you've got a paper trail that you can give to your attorney and say, hey, look, this guy grabbed my boob in the break room and I've got it on video, and we can go to court with this and we can own this company in the next 6 months to a year. So there you have it. Let me know if you've had incidents with human resources and how it's gone for you. I hope you haven't. I hope all is going well with everybody out there. Thank you for watching my videos. But make sure you document everything when you're working any place if something bad is happening. Peace out, baby.